Let's do a little bit more practice with the language we're going to see in these types of problems and which probabilities we have to add up. So in this problem, we are flipping a coin 8 times. And for each of these, I'm not gonna put it into the graphing calculator. I just want to think, what are the values that I'm gonna have to add up? So this first one is more than 3 times, okay? More than 3 is bigger than 3. So that 4 is bigger than 3. I'll have to do that. 5 is bigger than 3. 6 is bigger than 3. 7 is bigger than 3. And 8 is bigger than 3. And I stop at 8 because I can't get more heads than there are trials. So I can just stop at the number of trials. So if I'm figuring this one out, I'll do binom PDF. Okay. The number of trials is 8. The probability of success is 0.5 because I'm flipping a coin. I've got a 50-50 shot of heads or tails. And I'm looking for 4 heads. And I'll add to that binom PDF. The number of trials is still 8. The probability of success is still 5, but now I'm looking at 5 heads. Then I'm going to add on to that binom PDF 8.56. I'm going to add on to that binom PDF 8.57. And lastly, binom PDF 8.5 and 8. So I can see that these numbers I said were the options for what more than 3 means. Those are just the numbers showing up in my successes here. Now let's look at the other ways this can be worded. So the next one is, what's the probability that we get heads at least 3 times? Okay, so at least 3 times. At least 3 tells me that 3 is the smallest number I care about. 3 is the least of my numbers. So 3 would be the smallest one. And then if 3 is the smallest, I have to go bigger than that. So I'm going to have 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8, and I'll have to do all of these probabilities and add them up. So it'll kind of be like this one, but I'll have to add on one more binom PDF for 3. So I'd add that into the ones I did before, and I would get the correct probability for this one. Now, the next one says, what's the probability that we get heads fewer than 3 times? Okay, fewer than 3. That tells me that I have to be smaller than 3. So what numbers are smaller than 3? And here's a place to be careful. Okay, so I'm going to write careful here because this is one of those frequently made mistakes that we want to watch out for. When I think about numbers that are smaller than 3, well, 2 is smaller than 3 and 1 is smaller than 3. Oftentimes we forget 0, but 0 is smaller than 3, and 0 is an option here, right? It is possible that I flip a coin and I never get heads. Okay, so 2, 1, and 0 are all options here. So please don't forget to include 0 in problems like this. So for this one, I would have binom PDF of 8 trials, 50% chance of getting heads, and 2 successes or 2 heads. I would add to that binom PDF 8 trials, 50%, 1 head. And I would add to that, and this is the one, don't forget, binom PDF 8 trials, 0.5, 0 successes or 0 coins that had heads. Last one here is at most 3. So this language, at most 3 times, that tells me that 3 is the biggest number I'm seeing. So that would be just like this last one, except we're also going to include 3. So it's 3 or 2 or 1 or 0. Okay, so we would do the same thing. Now, let me just give you the answers here so that if you want to try these and see if you're getting the right answers, you can check. Okay, so for the probability that it is more than 3 times, that should work out to be 0.63672 or around there. For the probability of at least 3 times, we are going to get a slightly bigger number. So that is 0.85547. And that makes sense because we've added on, right? It should be bigger than the last number because we added one more probability. Fewer than 3 times should be 0.14453. And at most 3 times is going to be 0.36328. And again, it's slightly bigger because we've added on one more probability to that one.